How the US magically creates money.
Every hour of every day, this government facility in Washington, D.C. turns paper into money. In order to keep up with demand, these machines are running 24/7, pumping out more than $500 million into the U.S. economy every day. But
bruh, 500 mil a day?
This is only
I wish I had one of those machines, bro. Imagine you had that shit in your garage.
Of how much money is really made. Most of our money exists digitally, and this number currently goes up by more than $4 billion every day. But where does all of this money come from? Before it ever reached your bank account, it changed hands countless times, passing through people, governments, and businesses.
Yo, you already know this is going to be...
They left out one important part there. You see how it's showing like all the hands that it exchanged?
Our money exists digitally, and this number currently goes up by more than $4 billion every day. But where does all of this money come from? Before it ever reached your bank account, it changed hands countless times.
So this part right here, they forgot to show the guy like this with the $20 bill on the table, taking a bump of cocaine with it.
Governments and businesses, all after being simply typed into existence on a computer. We modeled the entire thing to show you how money really works and how it drives the country, inflates prices, and ultimately puts you in debt. But in order to fully understand how we got to this point, we need to go back to a time before.
To Europe.
If a farmer
to the
thousands of years ago
Russia.
needed a new tool, he'd go to the local tool maker to buy one. The farmer didn't have anything to give him in return, so instead, they both just agreed that he owed him something in the future.
Crops.
Because the tool maker trusted the farmer, his promise of future value was an acceptable form of payment. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, the farmer came back and gave him some food from his farm. To make transactions easier, people started to pay using more commonly used items like cattle, grain, and salt. Everyone needed these things, but they were hard to come by, and that's what made them valuable. The farmer could now buy a tool and pay for it right away, using a precise amount of grain that seemed like a fair exchange. This made transactions quicker, and both parties would leave with something valuable to them. But eventually the demand for trade was too much.
It's crazy.
We literally just trade numbers on a screen. You promoting gambling, promoting OF, selling your coochie online, you are gonna burn. You're trading your afterlife for numbers on a screen. It's so stupid, bro. It's so stupid. And then imagine the government. Not even imagine the government. Let me make a comparison so you can understand how royally screwed we're actually getting. Let's say I owe you 500 numbers on a screen, because that's all that dollars are. And instead of going and trying to exchange something with somebody else to get 500 numbers to give to you, I just print 500 numbers. I literally just add 500 to my account by adding numbers, and then I send you that. That is what our government is doing to pay off our debt right now. They're literally just adding numbers on a screen. You don't need gold backing it. They don't even need to print the money anymore. Adding numbers and then sending fake numbers out. How crazy is thinking?
But I think a lot of these people they just like whoever's in on the game. I think they just put unlimited.
Yeah, like they just have unlimited.
I swear to God, if I had to bet my life, I bet you there's a group of people on this earth that their account it's all they put the numbers in and they can spend whatever they want, bro.
Yeah, there's no.
They're at the top.
Probably. Yeah.
100%.
I mean, with the amount they're printing, you literally you can't buy that much stuff with your time. You could spend all day buy houses, literally buying houses, buy, and it's not enough.
Paying with a random mix of bulky objects wasn't good enough. People eventually settled on using metal coins, like gold and silver, since they were small, extremely
Anyone know why coins have ridges now?
valuable, and would last forever, unlike cattle or grain. Suddenly, trade around the world opened up, and things were being bought and sold all
And
the
by
way.
the way, this is another reason that the Roman Empire fell.
Inflation, bro.
When the Roman Empire started, their coins were actual metals. So it was either silver, it was gold, or something that had an exact value to it. And throughout time, until the end of the Roman Empire, there's a word for this, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. The coins would go from like 100% silver to 90% silver,
Clipping?
80%, no, that's a different.
Devalued.
There's a word for it, I'll look it up right after, until the end where their coins were less than like 2% of what they were supposed to be. And that's the same thing what's happening today,
done, dude.
except it's digitally. They're just printing. They're just adding numbers to their screen.
This whole system's coming down, bro.
Coming down.
I don't
bro.
want it to, but it is.
That's not coin clipping.
And I'm not talking about like the way it operates, like just the fact that I know what comes next is going to be enslavement of all humanity. Mark of the beast, as the Christians would call it. Blockchained. We're going to be like this, chained digitally, bro.
The word for the Romans devaluing their currency
debasement,
is
bro.
debasement.
I was close. I said
This was
devalue.
the deliberate practice of reducing the precious metal content of their coins, most notably the silver denarius and gold aureus, while keeping their nominal face value the same.
Way from China to Europe. But traveling with so much gold became
Dangerous.
heavy and dangerous.
And then the Knights of
This was when
Templar.
the whole idea of money started to change. In 17th century London, trusted goldsmiths started to take in people's gold coins, promising to look after them for a small fee. In return, they would give the customer a piece of paper,
They overlooked
a
this,
promise
bro. No,
note
this is
that
not how
allowed
the
them to
banking system
retrieve
came.
their
This is not how the banking system came into power, bro. The
GPT,
Knights
go.
of Templar went to Jerusalem, got knowledge they shouldn't have gotten. They came back, and through the church, you would deposit your gold into the church. They would give you a form with a wax seal. Then you could travel to another state, and that church, give them the certificate stamped by the church, and they'd give you the change, bro. That's how banking started. That's why the Knights of Templar got so much power and wealth that royal families wanted to take them out. And that's why Friday the 13th is considered an unlucky day, not because it has anything to do spiritually. It's because that was the day that they rounded them up in France and burned them at the stake, bro. As many as they could, but some of them got away.
GPT, like, bro, how do you know all this?
change. In 17th century London, trusted goldsmiths started to take in people's gold coins, promising to look after them for a small fee.
Bro.
In return,
I can't let falsehood spread here, bro. Let me see. Am I out of my mind here?
Gabago.
How did the Knights of Templar start banking? Okay, this video is trying to make it sound like the 1700s, like 1600s. Okay, traveling to Jerusalem was dangerous. Robbers targeted pilgrims carrying money. The Templars devised the solution. A pilgrim could deposit gold or silver with a Templar house in Europe. The Templars gave them a coded receipt,
You said like a
precursor to a check.
check with a wax stamp.
In the Holy Land, the pilgrim could show this receipt and withdraw the equivalent amount in local currency. That's Western Union and its inception, bro. The innovation made the Templars trusted guardians of wealth across continents, an early form of banking by transfers. Okay, this started when? In the 1100s. This stupid video is telling us that this started in 1630 London. Come on, bro.
in 17th century
This video's
London,
whack.
trusted goldsmiths
Get out of here, bro.
He missed one thing. It's a
This
cool
video, that's a big thing, bro. Like, are you purposely hiding that information? Because they don't want it to tie back to the, come on,
You think
bro.
he's going to talk about coin clipping?
Come on, dogs.
In 17th century London, trusted goldsmiths started to take in people's gold coins, promising to look after them for a small fee. In return, they would give the customer a piece of paper, a promise note that allowed them to retrieve their gold at any time. The key to this piece of paper was that the customer could go to any goldsmith in any town
Are they not explaining what these guys did 500 years before them?
Except he's just saying a piece of paper.
I don't care, dude.
and claim
That's
back
a big
that
piece to leave
exact
out.
amount of gold. The paper itself had no intrinsic value, but it became as good as gold. The notes were so convenient that people started simply exchanging them to buy and sell things. The goldsmiths realized that most people weren't actually coming to retrieve their gold, and so they started loaning out fake promise notes to customers, instant money that had to be paid back with interest, making the goldsmiths a small profit. This was fake money that
I wonder
didn't
who the
actually
goldsmiths
come
were.
out of their gold supply.
Play it.
bro. I wonder who the goldsmiths were. Stop. Trying to get us shot? Trying to get us Kirk?
Am I wrong?
If a goldsmith loaned out
I don't
100
know.
coins, they wouldn't become 100 coins poorer. They'd simply write the customer a fake note that was worth 100 coins, which could be spent anywhere. Eventually, the customer would pay back the loan plus the fee, making the goldsmith 105 coins richer. On top of that, the customer would spend their money by paying someone for goods, making them richer. From that single loan, the total money in existence increased by 100 coins, yet no new coins were produced. This meant that more money was in people's hands than actually existed.
We're in trouble.
As long as everyone didn't come to cash in their notes at the same time, everything would be fine. If we replace the goldsmiths with banks and the promise notes with digital money, we have today's system of money. Nowadays, almost everything is bought and sold digitally. But did you know that data brokers buy and sell your own personal data? This could be used against you for things like scams, identity theft, stalking, and harassment. On top of that, when the 17th century goldsmiths started handing out fake money, it had a profound effect on the economy. Before, no new money could enter the system, and so the money that did exist was simply passed around in a cycle whenever a transaction was made. But this system had a major flaw. Imagine a group of 4 people who have a total of $100 between them. If person 1 pays person 2 for some food, it moves the money around, making it uneven. Then person 2 pays person 4 for a service, and the money moves again. Note that every time money is passed around, value is made and productivity grows. But eventually, the money supply becomes uneven, and less people can participate, slowing down trade and reducing productivity. This system only works if everyone pays each other the exact same amount at the exact same time, something that is impossible in the real world. By adding more money into the system, it speeds up the economy, allowing businesses to grow, products to be made, and ultimately advances our civilization. And so, a constant flow of new money is crucial in our current system. But how is this actually done? We think of banks as places that store our money and keep it safe. But that's not really what's going on. When you give a bank your money, they are in debt to you. The numbers you see in your bank account aren't real wads of cash sitting in a vault. They're simply promise notes, showing that the bank owes you money and that you can claim it back whenever you want. A loan is the exact same, but in the opposite direction. When banks lend us money, we are in debt to them, and we have to pay them back. This is where money really gets made. Just like the Goldsmiths, when a bank gives out a loan, they don't get poorer. They simply type new money into your bank account. It's brand new money that didn't exist before. The only difference is that when—
How could you not think we're going down?
We're going down, dude.
How does this not end with complete chaos?
We're going
and
down, kid. Inflation, bro. That's the side effect of this process.
And he hasn't even talked about credit cards, the amount of debt we have with that.
Bro,
you
just
pay
store
it back, the money gets canceled out, and the bank—
And then the fact that you have to give 30 to 50% of your income to the government, who already prints money. Pick one, bro. Pick one. Either print the money or make us pay taxes. You can't do both. That's double
crazy.
dipping, dude. It's double dipping.
It's crazy.
only keeps the interest. But with that loan, you paid for a new car, and that money eventually made its way to the employees of the dealership. Then they spent that money, and it continued to create hundreds of new transactions, powering businesses, creating new technologies, and providing us with food. All of this value and productivity would never have happened if new money hadn't entered the system. The problem is that productivity doesn't necessarily increase when we create new money, and that can cause inflation.
Well, another thing, if you're not printing as much money, the prices don't go like this. You wonder why you can't buy a house now. It's literally
crazy.
Impossible for
crazy.
someone going the normal path that's suggested to you under the age of 30 to buy a house.
It's the American dream.
You have to be an exception from your town if you want to get a home.
It's
And then
crazy,
you
dude.
still need to use interest.
Imagine the richest nation in the world. We're not. We all know we're not now. People 30 years old can't buy a home. How the f is this a land of opportunity anymore? You can't even own a home, dude. You need $1 million to buy a house. What?
Not let alone, bro.
We've been turned into serfs, bro. We are living in a corporate feudalistic system. We're about to be converted into a technocracy, bro, with universal income. Basically, techno-communism, bro. We're
Just
cooked, bro.
Just wait till there's one currency and they say, hey, you ate a little too much meat this week.
You had too much meat. You got big tits.
You got to cut down on the meat.
You're only allowed one bra.
You can buy bugs. We'll give you bugs until Friday, but you can't buy any more meat.
Society starts producing fewer goods, but more money is added into the system. Prices will go up, since there is more competition for fewer goods. Because of this, banks have to limit how much money they create. In the past, they could only lend out a portion of the actual cash they had in their backup supply. Nowadays, though, banks have almost complete freedom to create as much money as they like. If they are running low on backup money, they can simply go to the central bank and ask for more money. And that's where things get ridiculous. To create new money, the government creates a bond, which is essentially a loan that provides a steady income. Banks, corporations, and foreign countries—
And by the way, they make this all so intentionally confusing so they can just stick it right up your
arse.
right up.
Right up your arse.
Worse than Neon's thing. Way worse than Neon's thing. That's what's happening to us.
Right up
A
it.
bond, which is essentially a loan that provides a steady income. Banks, corporations, and foreign countries buy these bonds from the U.S. government. And
China's
this
dumping
influx
theirs,
of
bro.
money
China already got rid of half of them
Half their bonds, right?
compared to what they had 5 years ago. That's,
Yeah,
that's a scary sign.
because they know the U.S. dollar's going
It's
down.
finished. The game's over, bro.
If they held their
Gold's
bonds,
skyrocketing, 4,000 an ounce, bro. It's gonna go probably to 20. Silver's probably going to 100, bro. I'm not here to give you financial advice. I was telling people to buy it at 14. I was right. It went 4 times up in value already. 3.5.
foreign countries buy these bonds from the U.S. government, and this influx of money goes toward the government's budget. The government uses this money to pay companies and people, and it eventually makes its way back to the banks. The problem is, the U.S. government almost always spends more money than it makes, so it is constantly in debt to those that buy bonds. In order to pay for that debt, it uses the taxpayers' money. Last year, the government spent almost $7 trillion, but your tax money wasn't enough to pay for this. And so the government had to create new
hold on, let's do a little math real quick. How many people are in America?
400 million, bro.
340 million. 7 trillion divided by 340 million. So you guys can see how big 7 trillion is. $20,000 per person. Literally up our butts.
bonds to receive more money, putting it further in debt, and the cycle continues. As crazy as it sounds, this system of adding more money through debt is how most of the world operates. It isn't necessarily a bad system. It's just not running anywhere near maximum efficiency. If banks created money for more productive things, like businesses, education, and infrastructure, all of this money going into the system could give us higher returns in the long run.
We're cooked, bro. That's it from us. See you guys later. Make sure you join the SunnyFaz Discord. We're interacting with you guys there all the time. The Companions is coming soon. A lot of cool stuff coming. That's it from us. Peace, guys.